All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to my favorite day of the week. Anytime when we have these sessions, this is my favorite time of the week. Absolutely my favorite time of the week. You know, I always tell people if you want to know where your calling is, just look at that thing that gets you so excited and that thing you will do, even if money was not a consideration. I love when we're here together just sharing knowledge. It's something I've always cherished all my life. All right, so who's here? Come on, who's here? Welcome, welcome, welcome today to this powerful session we're going to have with a powerful guest. Who is here? Let me know who's here. This is going to be amazing as always. And we're just challenging stereotypes, challenging mindsets. Dorcas! Yes, on my TV thing this morning, we had a bet with my presenter. I said I was going to wear red, and they thought I was kidding. Anyway, so I put this on for the show this morning. For those of you who don't know, I do Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday with Switch TV at 8 o'clock. So I put this on, and then the director was telling me this was not red, this is maroon. Come on. So we had a little thingy. Felicia, how are you? You're very, very welcome. Very, very, very welcome. Uh, like I said, we have a phenomenal, phenomenal guest today, and we're just challenging stereotypes. Let me tell you what we're doing. We are challenging stereotypes. I've been talking about mindsets, and we just want to give you enough information to dismantle any negative mindsets you may have had, concerning life, concerning different areas, actually, life, business, relationships, whatever. Ours is to help you dismantle them. Frida, Hawaii, Karibu. Eh? All right. So, and that's why we're here. So we want to dismantle any limiting stereotypes, mindsets. Hello, Daniel. How are you today? Mm, great, great having you here. All right. And so, just dismantling these negative mindsets and stereotypes that we may have had. That's why we are here. So that I have a vision every day. I have a vision. Hello, Grace. I have a vision that you've been listening to people who have gone through our mentoring programs. Even our guest today is one of such who has gone through these programs. And I have a vision that I'll be able to look at every single person that has attended these platforms, and there'll be examples to the world. Examples to the world. So why don't you start today by writing down there that you are the next big thing. So write that. You are the next big thing. I'm going to write it myself here. I am the next big thing. I am the next big thing. Why don't you all just write that? Fantastic, because that is such a hello trophy. Yes, we are dismantling. In fact, my guest today, we are dismantling too many stereotypes. Too many stereotypes. All right. So excellent, excellent. Now, before I bring her up, let me just tell you there is this article in the Nation, I believe it was, about a week or so ago, that was a whole spread on our guest tonight, about what she's been able to accomplish, what she's doing. and all that. And when I saw that, I said, my goodness, we need to bring this to our own people. We need to bring. So, our guest, ladies and gentlemen, is Rachel. She is the CEO of Free Zone Refrigeration Limited, with branches in Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania. So let's welcome her. Let's bring Rachel up right now. Rachel, you are very welcome. And there you are, copying me, wearing red. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Do you have another device on? There's an echo coming from your side, like you have a second device that is on. You may mute one and keep one on. All right. You
Yes,
are all right. That I think that's better. So Rachel, how you doing?
I'm good, Dr. Wale.
We are still getting that echo, like you're sounding like you're speaking from outer space. And I know you are not in outer space. I know you are in Nairobi somewhere.
Yes, I'm in
Uh,
Nairobi, son.
okay, now that's good. That's good. What did you
Yes,
just do? That was good. Say something again.
thank you. I'm in Nairobi.
Why are we getting that?
I don't know.
If it was not an interview, it would have sounded cool, you know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. You know. Okay. Do you have more than one device on?
No,
Okay. When you said no, it did not echo. So maybe we are good now. Say something again.
hi.
Then we are fine.
Okay, thank
We
you.
are fine. Wow. Rachel,
Yes,
we have come from very, very far.
indeed, Dr. Wale.
Eh, wow. And when I read here that you are doing work in Uganda, I remember we actually traveled to Uganda together, isn't it?
Yeah, indeed, yes.
Amazing. So tell us about Free Zone and what you do in a nutshell.
Thank you, Dr. Wale, for having me. My name is Rachel Maina. I'm the founder and CEO, Free Zone Refrigeration Limited. We design, supply, install, and maintain refrigeration equipment, air conditioning equipment, freezer, and cooler rooms. Our goal is to provide reliable, affordable, and sustainable solutions to customers worldwide.
We're frozen. I think Rachel might be. Tom, can you help me find out? I think Rachel might be having a problem with internet. Okay. Are you back?
Yes, I'm back.
All right. Now you talk about refrigeration and all that. It's not typically the kind of business that that most people go into. I was thinking about it. You're the only person I know that has gone that way. What inspired you to go into this kind of business?
Dr. Wale, back in the days, I passed on when I cleared Form 4. I passed and I joined Nairobi University for BCom. That is not what I wanted to do because from the very young age, I really wanted to do with anything to do with metal. I love working with metal. So when I joined campus to do BCom, I finished my BCom in marketing, but later on, I wasn't happy with it. I looked for my way out to do mechanical engineering because the very beginning I wanted to do mechanical engineering. When I was still working, my first job after campus, I was selling computers. When I was still selling computers, I was looking for scholarship to enable me to do mechanical engineering. Luckily, by God's grace, I got a sponsorship, and I managed to study mechanical engineering in Netherlands, and the rest is history.
So the business side of it, did you just decide I'm going into refrigeration? Take us through. Somebody watching right now wants to know, okay, what is the process? How did you decide it is refrigeration? Take us through the process.
So when I was studying in Netherlands, I used to work in a company that used to do refrigeration. When I look back in our country, the refrigeration industry was not well developed by then. So I got an interest in it. So when I cleared my campus in Netherlands, I came back to start a business, the refrigeration and air conditioning company. I came back with money, yes, after I was saving to come back and start the refrigeration business. But there in between, I couldn't manage to settle down in the refrigeration because my mom got sick and I was not able, she had to exhaust her insurance. Then, me being the firstborn, I had to top up the money that I had kept for the business, and I paid for her hospital bill until she was ready. So, my starting my business, I looked at in the refrigeration industry, the way it was operating in this country, and the way the Netherlands they were doing it. I saw a gap in between there.
So, what was the first business you did? How did you start it?
Now, when I came back, as I have said, when I came back, I was ready with all the money to start the business, but somehow I didn't manage. As my mom got sick, I was left with zero to start a business. So I was just looking for way to find people to give me business. One day, I sent a proposal to a company in Nakuru, whereby after 2 days I got a phone call and I was asked to send a technician to go and start and take the measurements so that we are able to do the code room for them. By then I didn't have money, but I asked the technicians if he could go and I'll refund the money thereafter, of which I didn't know whether I'll get the job or not. So I sent the technician, did the the designs and everything, and I sent the quotation. Once I sent the quotation, after 2 days, I woke up and looked at my laptop. I found an email and there was an attachment. The attachment was an LPO worth millions of shillings. So by then, I didn't even have a bank account. I didn't have anything I didn't even have a bank account. I didn't have money to do the project. So I approached a bank and I told them, now I've got an LPO and I really need to supply this equipment. The bank manager asked, do you bank with us? And I told them, no. I told him, no, I don't bank with you. Do you have an account with us? I told him, no, I don't have an account with you. Then he looked at me and was like, how do I help you? I was like, you need to help me because I need to deliver this project. So he looked at me and took a copy of the LPO and he told me the following morning to come back the following morning at 8 a.m. The following morning I came back and he was like, Rachel, we are going to help you. How? I don't know how they decided to help me. He went and discussed it with the manager. But they gave me a form to go back to Nakuru to go take it to the client in Nakuru to make sure that the client will not channel the money to any other bank account once they finance the project other than their bank account. I didn't have money to go, so I borrowed 1,000 shillings to take me to Nakuru. The following morning, I woke up very early in the morning to go to Nakuru. I arrived in Nakuru town. From Nakuru town to where the farm was, it's far. It's in Dondori inside. So it takes, I think, 4 to 5 hours before you get a matatu that's going that way. And it was in the afternoon. By the time I got to the farm, it was raining. From where you dropped the matatu where the office is at, it's a long distance. So I was rained on. I had to put the document inside my clothes to enable that so that they're not rained on. So when I got there, the client was so excited that, oh, you brought me my equipment. I was like, no, since we have already exhausted our facility with the bank wants to make to you to sign this document. Then we got into his office and he made a phone call to his accountant and he asked him, do you have a copy of Rachel's LPO? Then the accountant said yes. And he was asked to come with it. And to me, I thought the order has been cancelled because he can't risk going that way. But after 2 minutes, when the accountant brought the order, the LPO, the the owner of the farm wrote to that LPO, issue the whole amount of money for me to go and order the equipment and do the installation. I came back to Nairobi with checks, but I didn't have a bank account. After not having a bank account, I went back to the same bank, and then they told me, now you need to open an account. I didn't even have a rubber stamp. I did have a seal to follow the due process of opening a bank account. Then I had to borrow more money, 2,000 somewhere, to be able to buy a seal, open the account, but I couldn't get enough money for an opening balance in the account. So the bank manager himself deposited his own money to my account so that the check would go through. After that, the check cleared. We were able to order the equipment in Germany. I delivered the equipment. I camped in Nakuru. I tell people that was my first time I slept in a lodging because I had to make sure I delivered that site. And we delivered, and the rest, as we speak, up to now, the client always give us referrals. From there henceforth, all the other projects that we have been doing, he has been there for us to give us referrals.
Wow. So what I am hearing, because we want to dismantle stereotypes here, and one of the major stereotypes that a lot of people have is
Mhm.
the stereotype of we cannot move because we don't have capital.
Yeah.
We cannot move because we don't have capital. And what I am hearing from you is that
Mm.
you did not have all the money to start this business, you know.
Mm.
So at the time you were, let me ask, when you were sending proposals to companies and all that,
Yeah.
what was
Mm.
driving you? I mean, you knew you had no money to service the proposals, even if they said yes. What was
Yes.
driving you? What was your frame of mind when you were sending proposals and you did not have a company? You did not have the money. You did not have
Yes.
anything. And you were very young then, wasn't it? How old were you then?
Mhm. I was 24.
Ha, wahala. You were 24 and you were doing
Yes.
so. What was going on in the mind of a 24-year-old that says, I am going to write proposals to this company, to that company, to that company? What was that all about?
I wanted to bring this thing that women cannot and will never be in a male dominated field. Up to date, I want to tell women that we can manage in a male dominated field. That's what has was driving me, and that's what still drives me up to date. That even women, we can dominate in the male dominated field, and we can deliver what a man can do, a woman can do so.
Wow. So we see another stereotype there, a gender stereotype. Guys, please, if you have questions for Rachel, just type them in. This is a very, very exciting session. Just type them in because, We're challenging the stereotype right now of capital. And I think the way you start, you just start. I think that's what we're seeing here. Just start. We saw those of you who were here last week when we had Gitonga for its chocolate. We saw another thing. Just start. When you start, then it's easier to attract the resources. The Bible says that to him that has, more will be added. A lot of people are sitting down with the valid excuse that they don't have. Now, it is valid, and that's what I want you to understand. It is valid, but it is not permissible in the journey of success. It is valid, it is not permissible. You may have valid reasons, very valid reasons why you cannot do something. And one of the things I found out is what you need is one reason why you can do it. One reason. So it comes down to another thing. What is driving you? Ladies and gentlemen, there must be something driving you. In my case, I was selling books at Uhuru Park. Something was driving me. I had to take care of my family. And that has, for me, been the biggest driving force. The biggest driving force in my life has been my family. All right. So, Rachel, tell us. So, you did the first business, the first one.
Yes.
Then, what next? What happened next?
After I finished that project, we delivered very well. The client was very happy. And the client has a group of all the flower farming in around that area. He would go and market us. He called for a cocktail to commission that project to all his friends who are still flower farmers. And out of that cocktail, we got, I think, four other clients who are willing to give us a job to deliver to them.
Wow. That leads me to another thing. And ladies and gentlemen, I hope we are taking notes. I hope we are taking notes here. The biggest, in fact, in the book Outliers, was it this book now? Outliers. Anyway, that's one of the books by Malcolm Gladwell, where he was actually talking. It was in the tipping point. Yes, tipping point. He was talking and he talked about people called connectors. Listen, one of the things that a lot of people in business want to spend money on to start with is, oh, I want to spend a lot of money to market this thing. And again, it is valid. But the lack of marketing capital is no reason why your business should not grow. In fact, there's a book I'd like to recommend anybody who is in business. It's called The Personal MBA. The Personal MBA. This one, hey, it did something for me, because, if you look at it, and then the one we talked about when we were with Eric, this one, the lean startup, because I found out that a lot of times we are paralyzed by things that do not have the power to paralyze. Okay, so I don't have startup capital. And then when you do start, oh, I don't have, money to market and all that. Do you know the best, listen, the best marketing for your business is word of mouth from a happy customer. Word of mouth from a happy customer. And that is what we are seeing in this story, that you execute a job well, you put your all into it, and then it sells itself. Let me ask Rachel, every business needs the right structures and all that. Now you are in different countries. What kind of structure do you run for your business? And how did you get into other countries?
Wow, I have got to other countries through a client also, with a client who is based in Nairobi, but he wanted his work done in Nairobi, wanted his some air conditioning installed in Uganda and in Rwanda. So he asked us if we could be able to do so. We sold the equipment, then later he was not able to deliver the equipment to Rwanda. I took the initiative to call the DHL and to deliver the equipment all the way to Rwanda, and everything was set and delivered and installed. The client later on, when he paid, he called me. He told me he want to meet me and ask me what is this one thing that I've been doing that not everybody has been doing, because he never thought we would take the initiative to help him deliver the equipment to Rwanda, because he was new. He didn't know the logistic and everything. That is something we took. Although he paid the logistic, he was very happy about the way we even organized the equipment to be picked and everything. Later on, he introduced me to Uganda, to most of his clients in Uganda. He's in banking industry. Introduced me to the banking industry in Uganda. He also did the same to Tanzania because they are there, and he did the same to Rwanda. So the
So let
structures
me
we are,
ask. Sorry,
okay,
sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
okay, you've talked about the structures. Every country stand on its own. It has its own technicians, it has its own accountant, it relies on itself. The only thing I do, I just travel to check what is happening and always get the reports from the managers in those countries, what is happening, and we always have meetings frequently, what is going on.
What has been your biggest challenge so far?
Our biggest challenge has been, uh, I can say, the human resource part of it. Because, for example, I'll give an example in Tanzania. You can't compare the human resource part of the Kenya and Tanzania. So we always find ourselves transporting our technicians to Tanzania so that the job can be done faster.
So when we talk of, I mean, you're already in other people. Where are you going? What's your end game? What's your vision? What do you want to see happen? Where is Rachel? Who is that person hidden inside the Rachel of today that is going to emerge tomorrow? Because your story is very remarkable, but I just wonder, where are you going with this?
My vision is to occupy Africa. The reason why we want to occupy Africa, apart from refrigeration and air conditioning, we offer affordable housing to children's home. Well, how do we do that? Every time we get a project in a certain village, in a certain area, we make sure that any children's home around there, the materials that remains for building code rooms, the panel one, we do affordable housing for the children. So the reason why behind why we want to occupy Africa, we want that the Africa orphan child has a comfortable and affordable housing, a place they can call home.
Wow. Guys, if this is not inspiring, I don't know. I read a book. It's actually here. Let me show you. It says, Start with Why. And what I am hearing, I don't know if Rachel has read that book, but it's very interesting because what she's describing is what that book has said. That what is your end game? What is the big thing? What's that big vision that is beyond the business? And I think this is very important. You know, what is your, as an individual, everybody listening here, what is your end game? You know, let me shock you. I believe that money is good, but if the end game you have is just so I can have money for the sake of having money, it will make the journey of money to you a very much longer journey. You know, you must have a strong, like Joyce has said in the comments there, a very strong why. Taiwo said that too. A very strong why. You know, think of that. I've never even heard someone use the expression the orphan child in Africa. You know, the orphan child in Africa to have, you know, this is mind blowing, mind blowing, you know. Um, Rachel, if you want to advise somebody here right now who doesn't have the money,
Yeah.
doesn't have anything, but they have this
Mm-hmm.
big dream like you
Mm-hmm.
did as a 24-year-old writing
Mm.
proposals, what would you
Yeah.
tell them?
Yeah.
What what will you tell
I would
such a
love to
person?
advise you. What is that? As you have said, what is that why? And the why should, at the end of the day, when the curtains is drawn for our lives, what will remain? What will people say about you? Remember the cars we drive, the houses we build, the money that you'll be leaving in the bank will never testify about you. But a life you change, even if in your grave, you will still be living through that one person. So your why must be a why that you're touching life. Because at the end of the day, we were brought into this world to expand and enlarge God's kingdom. So that's your why. As in, start with your why. The why should not be buying the cars and buying the houses. It's good for those houses. It's good to have those cars. It's good to have those houses. But at the end of it all, who will stand and cry, not because you're dead, but cry because of what you have done, the lives you have touched?
Wow. Am I the only one being inspired out of my socks right now? Guys, this is totally amazing. I'm just looking at you and wondering, oh my goodness, you know, how come we've not brought you earlier on to this? This is so mind-boggling. Now, when you look at Africa, because you occupy Africa, and you know, we have a shared vision in African transformation and all that. When you look at the African landscape today and you look at the way things are going, how do you think the young entrepreneur would overcome the limitations brought about by the politics of Africa? Did you hear me? Hello?
We only need to
Oh,
stop thinking the politicians, the who's and who's are going to our lives. No politician, nobody will come and change your life. It's you to change your life. The young guys, it's us, we need to change our lives. We need to change our thinking. Let us not look at, there's no money, the government is not doing this and this. Actually, I don't think there's any government that is meant to support anybody. So it's you have your dreams, work your dreams out, and things will be good. And put God first at the end of the day.
you know, you have hit on something so powerful because a lot of young people, a lot of entrepreneurs across this continent will always complain, oh, the government has not done this, the government has not done this, the government has not done this. Yet, ladies and gentlemen, isn't it interesting that in those same environments, you do see people who are prospering? And let me tell you, when you look at Africa, one of the sad things in Africa, when you look at some of the wealthiest people in Africa, what do they have in common? They were either in government or connected with somebody in government and all that. But you still have people who, in spite of, you know, coming, not having that, they have been able to think, engage, and they've been able to make something out of their life. So it still goes back, ladies and gentlemen, to what we have been talking about, our mindset. Our mindset. Our mindset. What is the operating system that is controlling your life? What is the operating system that is making the decisions for you? Do you see yourself as a victim of the society, or do you see yourself as somebody who, in spite of what is happening in the society, you are going to step out and do what you need to do? It boils down to your mindset. Rachel, you are so, I don't know, guys, can you see, just listening to Rachel, talking now, listening to Gitonga last week, very, very young people, but sounding so wise, sounding like a wise grandmother. Eh? Rachel, where did
Yes.
this wisdom come from? Tell us, how did you begin to think like this? Share with us.
No, I think when I started 20, when I was 26, 25, I met Dr. Wale at KICC. And since then, we did eye to eye. Remember, I did eye to eye, and I was a repeating student. I would come back and repeat. Every time any class was coming, I would join because I really wanted to touch the wisdom that have. And also, I read a lot of books. Books are very key. Listening to podcasts, the wisdom, the knowledge is out there for you, free of charge. Yeah, you get it, and
Wow. Again, I'm sure somebody was hoping, okay, please don't let her talk about books. Don't let her talk about reading. At least let's have somebody who is not talking about reading. Sorry, she has said it again. Books, reading. I remember when we were doing the Inspire to Inspire program, which we've repackaged to Reimagine Yourself now. And if you have not yet registered, why you need to register for Reimagine Yourself is because Inspire to Inspire will have 20, 25 people in the room at a go. Reimagine Yourself is one-on-one. Me and you, we have sessions. We reimagine. We will decode what is the mindset operating system running your life. What is the new potential? Because the truth is this, your potential at 25 and your potential at 30 is different. And if you are not careful, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you are listening. If you are not careful, you can be 40 years old and still be running on the potential of 25. Meanwhile, potential has exploded, but you didn't know because you did not take time to pause to reimagine yourself. So if there's anybody here who has not subscribed for Reimagine Yourself, you need to do so. The April class, we still have some slots available for you for the April. Say it is one-on-one, and we're going to have 4 sessions with you. All right? So that's very, very important. But going back, Rachel finished her class. Then the next class, she paid and came again. And we're all laughing out. Rachel, why are you here again? She just kept coming. But she knew what she was after. And I think that is a very important question. I want everybody take time to write, think. You need to think today. I want you to think. What is my end game? Don't confuse the end game with the means. Oh, I want to get a college degree. That's a means. That's a means. What is the end? You've already had her end, that the African orphan child will have affordable living. That's the big why. Now, so you find out that free zone, refrigeration, and all the work she's doing everywhere, that is the what to be able to execute the why. My why is transforming Africa one mind at a time, that everybody I come in contact with must think differently, because in so doing, we will transform Africa. So, I mean, we will change the whole continent. So, guess what? And I was reading, I don't know if you guys have read this, The Richest Man in Babylon. It's one of the best books that has ever been written. You know, I've read it before, but I have read it again this week. This is my 13th book of the year 2021. You know, and one of the things that was said here that was, I think it was so profound, is that when you look at the wealth of Babylon, they made a powerful statement that the wealth of Babylon, that for a society, for a nation to be prosperous, its individuals must be prosperous. That's why I am transforming Africa one mind at a time. If everybody I come in contact with has a different way of thinking and they are able to step out in spite of everything, of all the obstacles and all that, then what will happen? We will wake up one morning and realize that our nations are prosperous, because you cannot separate individual transformation from national or continental transformation. You cannot. You cannot. All right. So that is the big why. And so I want everybody to take time today to actually look, what is your own big why? Why are you here? You know, why are you here? When it's all said and done, I want it to be written that Wale was a man that changed the way Africans think. That's my calling. So whether I'm having coffee with Dr. Wale, whether I'm having Inspire to Inspire, whether I am doing Reimagine Yourself, whether I'm writing in the newspaper, whether I am, no matter what I am doing, my why has remained constant. The what has changed over time, but the why has remained constant. Rachel, before I let you go, what is the happiest moment of your business life that you are like, wow, this really happened? Tell us.
Well, the happiest moment happened last year when COVID hit, when we were just in house. 2019, we won a dealership. We became the first Africa-owned woman and the first only woman to own a dealership with an international brand called Airwell in France. So the wow moment of my business was that dealership, because it has really opened doors for us, and being the only woman and the only Africa woman to represent the brand in Africa.
Wow. What did you call the brand? Airwell.
Airwell, yes, it's in France.
Wow. Guys, this is that place where we say we are sorry and we just start clapping. So tell me, and that was during COVID. How has COVID been for you and for your business?
COVID it has been good. We have done business. We have opened up. What happens in COVID? We change our business strategy on how we have helped the hospitals, the counties build prefabricated hospitals for the COVID facilities. That's how we change our whole business plan, and we moved in doing prefabricated hospitals for the COVID. We have done in Kisumu, we've done in Busia. That's how we did. COVID has been good to us. To us, COVID has been good. Unfortunately, it's not a good thing, but our business has really grown during COVID.
Rachel, you know,
Yes.
you are still so young and you are doing all this. I'm not going to ask you to tell anyone your age unless you want to. I've been told it's bad manners to ask a woman to tell her age. I've been told that. But you know, I didn't have a sister when I was growing up.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to behave around women. Anyway,
Mm.
so it's up to you if you want to tell your age. But you are still so young.
Mm.
Now, I'm thinking very carefully how to put this. You know, you are still so young. What have you put in place, or how have you? Good, I know what to say now. You are still so young, yet you are
Yes.
so calm and collected.
Mm.
We see people who don't have a fraction of the success you have had, and they are all over the place. They are the socialites, they are the noisemakers, and all that. How have you remained so cool and grounded?
Thank you, Dr. Wale, for asking my age. For the sake of those who are watching, I'll be in my mid 30s in a month's time. Next month, next in May, I'll be in my mid 30s.
What is mid 30s? Is there an
I'll be
age called mid
35.
30s?
In
Eh?
35, I'll be I'll be 35. Now, to your question, one of my mentors showed me the day you will allow success to get in your mind, you're finished. So as I get what, as much as I move to where success never gets into my mind. Because at the end of the day, it's not the much you earn, it's about the lives you touch. And despite how women we walk with our high heels, we walk with a lot of boldness. Humility is key. So one of my goals is humility and never to allow success get into my head so that I'm able to keep moving. Because the day you allow success to get in your head, you are like you can't move. You'll just be stagnant. So for you to keep going to achieve your goal, never allow yesterday's achievement to take over today's.
Boom. That's a boom moment. Boom. Eh? Boom. Wow. Yes, Frida, she has challenged not just you, she's challenged everybody. Even her mentor, Wale, looks at her and is challenged, you know, because I have known Rachel since she was in her 20s, you know, and when I see what what she has become, it is so inspiring. And I think that's a very good place to call it a day for a day now, because listen, and that's so important. If the devil cannot stop you from starting, he will allow your success to get into your head. And once your success gets into your head, it will achieve exactly the same effect as if he had stopped you. So that is so important. And if there is one thing I want to see is that everybody that I have had the privilege of mentoring or working with in one capacity or the other, that they, no matter what they become, I want it to be such that you can pass us somewhere and just like, wow. But when it is time to move things, we are there. We are there. A day will come, I'll be able to call on you guys, Rachel, that you know what? There was an earthquake in one country. They need $100 million. Let us support them. That is why we are prospering. That is why, to make a difference, that we say, okay, Rachel, now since your big why is this orphans, Rachel, there's a problem in Sierra Leone. There are many orphans. Can we do something there? So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you are getting the big picture. This is why we want to reimagine ourselves. All right? So, thank you so much for being here, Rachel. I totally am so absolutely proud of you. We love you. And we really thank God for what He's doing in your life. And the best is yet to come. Ladies and gentlemen, you've had it today. Another inspiring session. You see that Rachel and I, we think alike. We're even wearing red together. Eh? We're even wearing red together, But you've heard it. Let's reimagine ourselves. When we reimagine ourselves, we can reimagine Africa. We can reimagine our countries. But it starts with reimagining yourself. Your potential may be at 70. And when you were 10 years ago, your potential was at 20. And you are still flying at 20, not knowing that your potential has increased. That's why we invite you to join the Reimagine Yourself program. And any investment in your personal development will always come back. In this book, The Jewish Phenomenon, one of the interesting things he said there, he said, look, as Jews, they are encouraged. If you must borrow to get knowledge. Even if you can't pay it back, they will never be able to repossess what you got. Never. So I look forward to seeing you at the Reimagine Yourself program. We kick off next week, and it's one-on-one. All right. So send me a message, either email or whatever, and we'll send you the whole package. And we're giving all our Street University students and I2I alumni a 70% discount. People outside are paying $1,200. Our own people are paying $300. Once you are an I2I alumni or you are a Street University student, or we will give that to you. So please reach out to us so we can slot you in ASAP. Once again, thank you everybody for being here. At 9 p.m., I will continue speaking about mindset. Taiwo and I will be on at 9 p.m. On the Wale Akinyemi resource page. Sarah, just send an email right now to wale@thestreetuniversity.com. That will be written there for you. wale@thestreetuniversity.com. All right. If you are able to send that email, we will send you the package, the brochure that tells you everything, as well as the payment link. So you just pay on, electronically, and we get you started. We will reach out to you. We fix your schedule. We schedule your meeting. So wale@thestreetuniversity.com. All right. So let's do that. So see you guys at 9 p.m. God bless you and keep winning. Bye. All right.